Yes, I am extremely late to the Minecraft movie hype train, but this is for good reason. I was not going to make this video. The only reason I'm making this video is because I was forced to sit through the Minecraft movie and I might as well try to get some money from it since I cannot get my time back. Yes, this will be a video of me being extremely displeased with the Minecraft movie if it wasn't obvious from my everything. So back in December, I made a video called Minecraft is Sexist. I recommend you watch it before watching this one. It's very important context for what I'm going to be speaking on. A lot of that video was about designed identity in video games and what that looks like for gender roles in the gaming sphere. Tragically, that has run off into the Minecraft movie. Before I get into the direct sexism that exists in the Minecraft movie, which, yes, it has direct sexism, I also just want to kind of bitch for a second as someone who loves movies. The editing was terrible. It was kind of unbearable to watch so many scenes of these close ups where the actors are filmed from the chest up because it's obvious they aren't even in the same room with each other. Not only this, but the plot was just confusing. It was actually kind of interesting because I considered that there were two different movies existing at the same time. One of these movies was the one that I think would have been the better movie. The idea of this sister and her brother moving to a small town in the middle of nowhere in a Napoleon Dynamite dry comedy type of sense. And it's funny I say that because there are actually a lot of crossovers in the production team and actors to the Napoleon Dynamite movie. And I feel like that movie, the movie without any Minecraft in it, would have been the good Minecraft movie, as tragic as that is. The Minecraft parts of the movie were the weakest parts. They were the parts that were the most ununderstandable. And this does break my heart. I am a fan of Minecraft. I wanted this movie to be good, to at least be funny. But the humor of this movie only works if it is a completely different movie. There were small plots that didn't really go anywhere, small things that were never fully properly explained, and this is not asking me for everything to be spoon fed to me. Trust me, it's not. I love weird surrealist films that don't make any sense. This did not make sense because it was not well made, not because that was the intention. And the acting obviously suffered from the fact that these people were not in real rooms interacting with real things, nor really interacting with each other for 95% of the time. Emma Myers was probably the weakest performance out of all of them, but I don't even blame her for that. I could tell she was trying. And then Danielle Brooks. Girl, I love everything you do. You even make that one shitty Marvel show bearable. You are an amazing actress. You deserve so much better than this. And now to the sexism part, because yes, it exists. And it is not just Alex showing up for the last 5 seconds of a post-credit scene without her face even being shown. That's the easy sexist bait, right? That's the easy thing for me to complain about, especially considering that my previous Minecraft is Sexist video exclusively hinges on the existence of Alex. Alex would be the easiest thing for me to complain about in this. But actually, what there is sexism towards all the women in the film and all the men. Yeah. So, what a lot of people don't understand about feminism is feminism fights for the rights of women and the liberation of men in regards to the patriarchy. Men also suffer under the patriarchy. Men also struggle under the expectations that the patriarchy puts on them. Women, obviously, are the oppressed class under the patriarchy, but men are slaves to their own standards. And we'll circle back around to that, but first I want to discuss all the stuff relating towards sexism when it comes to misogyny in the Minecraft film. If you have watched the Minecraft movie, this is going to be a lot easier of a video for you to understand. I don't know why you would have clicked on this without seeing the Minecraft movie, but probably go watch it and then come back here, especially because there will be spoilers, even though I don't think that matters for the Minecraft movie. There was barely a plot, there's barely anything to spoil, right? So when we open up the movie, we are introduced to Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison. He's our emotional framework for the film. He's really the first character in the real world we meet that isn't Steve. He's our first original character. And this is important because then, afterwards, is when we meet Henry and Natalie, two siblings moving to this small Idaho town after the death of their mother. They are introduced later. Henry, the small boy, whose creativity is apparently wonderful and amazing, and the story hinges on his innovation, he's not introduced first. It's Garrett, which also means then Natalie, Henry's sister, is also not framed as a key protagonist, not in the way you would think. In the language of films, Natalie would have a much bigger role in a Minecraft movie where Minecraft did not exist. Natalie would be a secondary protagonist, a possible emotional adversary for Henry as he adjusts to this new life without his mother, as Natalie's trying to fill that role. But instead of any of that emotional conflict or buildup for Natalie, Natalie naturally falls into this role, almost too successfully. There is never any real conflict regarding the fact that she is assimilating into this role. She just does so naturally because she's supposed to, because she's the older sister. There's a few lines where she says she wishes she could have gotten to be a kid longer, but that's never dwelled on, that's never addressed. It's a throwaway line to pretend that they're giving Natalie any depth, when in reality, Natalie doesn't act like a kid. She never gets to have those liberated childlike moments. She very instantly starts a career and takes care of Henry as if Henry is her child, and then at the end of the movie, she continues to have a career and take care of Henry as if Henry is her child, and we don't really get a point A to point B movement from her. The film tries to do something like that by showing that Natalie gets a prowess for self-defense and fighting when they are in the actual Minecraft game. But this kind of physical self-defense and fighting has always been what is essentially a post-feminist idea, a post-feminist shorthand for the idea of a girl boss, a badass, an independent woman. Even if the character does not break any gender roles, is in a skirt in almost every scene, is naturally, instinctively at her core a mother, is not seen for 20 minutes of the movie, and only returns with a beautiful, traditional, feminine Minecraft cottagecore house, all those things don't count if she's a fighter, right? This is how movies trick you into thinking that they are feminist, or this is how movies trick you into thinking that they have any form of liberated womanhood. This is especially emphasized because the idea of post-feminism is inherently tied to consumerism, and nothing is more consumerist than a video game movie, especially the Minecraft movie, where merch for the movie was released months before the film even hit theaters. Natalie's existence hinges on this idea of false feminist consumer placation. And you see the same thing with the character of Dawn. Dawn is completely unrelated to the main cast in every aspect except for the fact that she just happened to sell Natalie the house that they live in. Dawn's arc is that she has 1,000,001 side hustle jobs. Her passion is with animals, but she's forced to do things such as real estate in order to support herself because the economy sucks. Even though I don't know what's going on with Natalie, but as a 18-year-old white woman, she can buy a house flat in the middle of nowhere, Idaho. But Dawn, a black woman, has to work 15 jobs just to barely make it through. That's a whole other discussion. I actually can't even process that right now. Let's just talk about just gender, because if I get into the racial politics of the Minecraft movie, this video could be forever. But Dawn's special talent is framed as being good with animals. Not only is she literally just relegated to the sassy black woman trope, which again, whole other discussion, her only allyship in the movie comes from the fact that she's good with animals. She does something that is so traditionally feminine coded, caretaking for a living being. She's just like Natalie in that sense, that she really isn't established. She's the last of the main protagonists we meet. We don't understand her intentions. We are only supposed to assume her character arc. She's there for one-liners and to train dogs, and that's honestly quite literally it. And just like Natalie, Dawn is also missing from a good 20-minute chunk of the film, only to return once again with a beautiful feminine house built. I'm kind of lost on Dawn's character, actually. She felt so much like an afterthought. When I look at Dawn and Natalie's characters, it does really call to attention that there are no women on the screenwriting team for the Minecraft movie. Yes, Allison Schroeder is on the story producing team with Chris Bowman and Hubble Palmer, but there are no women on the actual screenwriting team. No women touched the writing of the script. No women are credited for writing a single line of the script. The story concept has touches of Allison Schroeder and 2 other men, but again, Allison Schroeder is a singular white woman on a team of essentially all men when it comes to the writing of this movie. I've discussed this before, but when I speak about representation in media, I am not just talking about the representation that goes on screen. I am mainly talking about the representation we see in the writer's room, on the production team, the directors, the actual actors. Who is it that is bringing this piece of art to life? That's always going to be more important to me than how many minority groups can be seen on a screen at once. When I talk about representation, I'm talking about real minority groups in the real world getting their flowers, getting their bags and being able to have successful careers in the world of Hollywood. And this movie showed me that despite there being supposedly two badass female characters on screen, there are no badass women working on this movie, not writing the script, not making sure that Danielle Brooks and Emma Myers have roles worth playing. That's not even touching on Jennifer Coolidge. I don't even know if Jennifer Coolidge can be a part of the conversation when it comes to sexism in this movie. Her role is so small and tacked on just because she's Jennifer Coolidge, just because the Jennifer Coolidge accent happens to occasionally sound like a villager. Huh? But if we really want to touch on Jennifer Coolidge, even though she's barely a character in this movie, well, there's a woman whose entire plot is being divorced and then falling in love and dead ass nothing else. So that kind of speaks for itself, right? Which sucks because I love Jennifer Coolidge. And yes, you could argue that her role in Legally Blonde is the same thing, a woman divorced and yet falling in love, but wrong. In Legally Blonde, Jennifer Coolidge learns to stand up for herself, stands up against her abusive ex-husband, and takes the damn dog. You know what she does in this? Have dinner. And I think maybe she has 10 lines, actually. I actually don't know. Now, at the beginning of this video, I mentioned sexism towards men. I want to clarify, it is not sexism towards men. Sexism is a systemic thing. Just like how you can't be racist towards a white person, but you can be intolerant or bigoted towards a white person, you cannot be sexist to a man, but you can be intolerant or bigoted to a man. And this intolerance and bigotry towards men often shows by forcing patriarchal ideals onto men. How does that work for this movie, though? Well, I mentioned Garrett the Garbage Man, who is essentially our main character besides Steve. He's our non-Minecraft character that kind of acts as our eyes for this movie. And his whole motivation is money and fame. Often under patriarchy, men are forced to succumb to some kind of manosphere ideal. The idea of being famous or uber wealthy or, a millionaire by 23, 3 cars, a huge crypto profile, whatever awful thing you can find on the most recent Joe Rogan or Andrew Tate podcast. And Garrett, the Garbage Man Garrison, kind of follows that arc in the sense that his arc strictly is because he is failing as a man. No money, no prospects, nothing. His whole thing is framed as being a bad mentor and role model to a younger man. He's not an ideal man and is therefore failing the next generation of men. Steve is an interesting case of the whole idea of patriarchy making men suffer, because you would think that Steve is on the outside of patriarchy in the sense that he chooses creativity and freedom and male sensitivity instead of succumbing to the idea of the job, the work, etc. He literally runs away from his 9 to 5, his stable male income, in order to seek out something that could be considered more softer and feminine, a life of creativity. But he unchooses that at the end. He goes back to the real world. He actually helps with Garrett's career. His whole thing becomes making money again, having a job again, being adult again. The movie attempts to have a message that growing up does suck, but that you can carry your creativity and your childlike whimsy with you so that being an adult isn't as bad. But because the movie structurally fails in editing, in writing, in plot, that is not what is conveyed. What I saw was someone denouncing their creativity in favor of going and monetizing it, making a video game, building up a store again. But now there's a whole other conversation to have, which is, yes, the homoerotic undertones between Garrett and Steve. Notice how they're not actually gay, though. Everything's played as a joke. All the little stuff, all the little comments, the looks, the grabs, it's all played for giggles. There is no actual gay rep in this movie. That's another example about how male affection, male love, and the idea of men being in love with other men is punished under the patriarchy. That can't happen here. That can only be a joke. These two men, even though they grow an understanding for each other over the length of the film, they can only participate in genuine affection for each other if the audience here, if we can laugh at it, if we can laugh at how ridiculous homosexuality is. I once read an essay about the unintentional homosexual undertones of hypermasc movies because of the distinct lack of humanity to the female characters. Whether it's because of a lack of women or the lack of development for women, Men end up accidentally being gay in these movies. Because the women are objects, the men are often the only characters with depth that are capable of authentic connection. Unintentionally, then, these hypermask movies become embedded with queer undertones that undermine the heterosexual power fantasies that these movies attempt to create. While I don't think the Minecraft movie is a perfect example of this exact trope, it was hard for me not to think about that. This movie certainly offers more authentic connections and authentic forms of emotional affection between men than it does for their female characters, but again, only as a joke. We don't even get to see that much actual familial love between Natalie and Henry. The most love on screen between any characters is shown between Steve and Garrett, and it's only because it can be played as haha funny big strong men being sweet, which is again a way that men suffer under patriarchy. Their affection and their care can only be mocked. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't write a script for this video. I came in, guns blazing, about 10 minutes after finishing the movie. I don't have a great way to wrap this up because I think I'm just so upset. I'm not only upset for the young girls who watch this movie and see that they are sidelined to build a house in favor for the men going on a cool adventure. I am not only sad for the gay Minecraft fans who are going to come in here and watch their genuine affection be mocked. I am sad for the people who also just wanted to see a half decent video game movie. That doesn't happen here. What's interesting though, while watching this, is my husband turns to me and he says that this movie is a perfect encapsulation of a lot of popular online Minecraft SMPs. The idea of male affection being a running joke, the idea of the homosexual tension being a part of the comedy, the nonsensical plot, the confusing editing choices, the quick, snappy way that these men will jump into danger at any cost but never participate with the female streamers on the SMP. The way that the female streamers are often sidelined and treated as window dressing. And the way that the male characters will begin and end the story and basically decide what happens next, and the female characters kind of have to just run with it. When my husband said that, it's like a light bulb went off in my head. Perhaps this is the perfect Minecraft movie. Perhaps this is just the audience that Minecraft cultivates. Maybe this was made for the exact kind of audience Minecraft wants to continue having. I got a lot of interesting comments on my Minecraft is Sexist video from last December, saying that I am the one thinking too deeply about it, or I'm the one being sexist for pointing out the concept of designed identity with the character of Alex. But now, upon watching this movie, I feel vindicated. Extremely so. Every point I made in that video was essentially proven here in this movie. Mojang has decided who they want their audience to be or who their ideal audience is, and it's not great. It makes me upset as someone who's been playing Minecraft for the better part of 16 years. I'll summarize this entire essay by talking about the Alex cameo at the post-credit scene, just because I feel like it's a great way to put a cherry on top. So, we have Kate McKinnon making an uncredited cameo as the voice of Alex, living in Steve's house. We have a physical actor of Alex, Alice May Connolly, but we don't see her face. Alex is such a dismissed character that she can be split into two uncredited women who aren't even really shown on screen. And I think that sums everything up, doesn't it? The Minecraft movie is sexist, and Minecraft is still sexist.